Hey, what you doing there? Ready to rock to a little Wake Up Barstool? I know I am. It's Friday, and we got a great show planned for today. We had Chief filling in for Katie. We got Dana Beers. We got a girl Meagan making money, and a lot of great guests joining the show. Brian Baldinger breaking down some NFL film. The Bear, Chris Fallica back with some more excellent picks. Brock Huard talking all things college, sports, Seahawks, and recap a Thursday night football game. It all starts now on FS1. What is going on, everybody? Welcome in to another Big Boys Friday here on Wake Up Barstool. That's right, we have replaced one of the big boys, Michael Kadick, with another rather svelte, large man, an august man. Chief, what's happening, brother? How are we doing today?
I'm feeling great. Quite the intro. I don't know what that word was.
August, regal.
You're already taking Kadick's seat so perfectly.
Well done. We got Meagan making money, as always, on Friday, kicking out. She's going to have some money quarter picks for you coming up, and I cannot wait to hear her and Bear break down kind of a little market watch, right? How the lines are moving, what it tells us. It's going to be a lot of fun. Grab a coffee, lock in for the next couple of hours. We got Dana Beers, of course. Dana, what's up, baby? How we feeling?
I'm feeling great. Friday is my favorite day. We got a lot of sports to talk. Sports are the best. Let's do it, T-Bow.
Yeah, man, Friday. The glories of Friday. You have the runway of the weekend ahead of you, right? The world is your oyster, and at this time of year, as I think as we'll see in the Skillet Parlay, you have a million different sports to choose from. But what we chose last night was a little Thursday night football, and how about it, dude? I don't know. So, Big Cat, it's his pinky toe that he has to cut off? Is it, or his
I think it's the tip of his pinky.
The tip of his pinky. Okay.
Which, again, he's talked to doctors, and they say unless there's something wrong with it, you can't do it. So he's probably going to have to get on the dark web and find a doctor to
Dark web,
facilitate.
Silk Road, maybe smash it, create a problem with it. The point is, the Texans are kind of back, guys. All of a sudden, they take care of the Bills last night. They're now 6-5. Davis Mills, the backup quarterback, goes 3-0 as a starter. I know most conversations today will start with the Buffalo Bills, and we can get there, but I come away from this game more impressed with the Houston Texans. I think they're legitimate. I think they are a very real threat to not just make the playoffs, but even ruin somebody's postseason in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think the takeaway from this one was the Texans' defense. Now, they came in as the number one defense in the league. However, they were middle of the pack when it came to sacks. Last night we saw they can sack the quarterback. They had 8, and you saw it just kind of towards the end of the game. Josh Allen just couldn't step back without feeling a little bit of pressure. It's those two defensive ends they have. They have Will Anderson, Danielle Hunter, just getting to the QB, and he just felt so uncomfortable. He felt like he had no time to throw, and that was the big story to me. Obviously, the Bills, you might have to start pushing the panic button a little bit. But to me, it was really about this Texans defense, and you got to start talking about them as one of the best in the league. I know they lead the league in points against, but if those sack numbers go up, I mean, they can beat anybody.
I think in my head I've had it as the Broncos were the clear number one defense this entire time, but it's a two-team race. It's a two-team race. There's a lot of good defense, but it is very clearly the Texans and the Broncos, and as you alluded to, Dana, the 8-sack output of last night does bump them all the way up to tied for second. Now, nobody is close to the Broncos in terms of just overall sack numbers, but points, yards, everything, the Texans a little bit better. Chief, what was your major takeaway last night?
I think the AFC South is real.
Yeah.
I'm filling in for the AFC South commissioner, Mike Kadick, and they have 3 teams that are knocking on the door for the playoffs. So that division, sneaky, I feel like everyone forgets about them. Colts, Jags, Texans are all kind of looking like legitimate threats to make the playoffs now.
Yeah, I think that to me, this has all the makings of another Jaguar collapse.
Yes.
I trust the Texans more as a franchise, given their history. Jags are kind of playing over their skis a little bit. I don't trust Trevor Lawrence as much as I trust the Texans' defense.
As much as Davis Mills.
Okay, so let's have that conversation then. And we'll get into Josh Allen, guys. Don't worry. But Davis Mills has been fantastic in replacing C.J. Stroud here. He goes 3-0 as a starter. Of course, remember, this is a Texans team that started 0-3, so 6-2 since, but with 3 wins coming Mills. And I know this is a bit of a risky game to play, but if you look at the 3-game sample size and you extrapolate it over a 17-game season, Davis Mills would end up with 4,600 yards passing, 40 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Listen,
Not bad at all.
Not bad.
especially last night. What the Texans' downfall has been for a while now has been their offensive line. Last night, I believe it was probably the best they played all year. So if their offensive line can actually just play at a decent level and just let him have some time to throw, that, I believe, is the key to that offense matching a little bit of what that defense has. Because that's been their Achilles heel for years, is how awful they've been and how many times C.J. Stroud gets sacked. If they can just be adequate, they could possibly be one of those teams that just lets their defense carry them.
Well, and so much of pass protection as well is kind of the quarterback protecting himself. And I know they mentioned it multiple times on the broadcast, but Mills, very quick time to throw, getting rid of the ball, helping out his O-line, helping out himself. He was asked, so I guess what we're kind of intimating here, is there a quarterback controversy? Should there be a quarterback controversy? And Davis Mills was asked about that after the game. He said, quote, "In my current situation, I don't think there's a competition. CJ's the starter for this team. I'm just trying to play my role to the best of my ability when I get thrown in there." Ironically, I love that answer. That's the answer that I want out of my guy that I would trust to become the starting quarterback.
That's a PR answer, though.
Right.
That's a PR answer.
That's a team player.
That's a
up
team
on that
answer,
one.
dude. That's a major team answer right there.
But they look so much better with him. Like you said, the ball comes out on time. He's got he looks like Joe Flacco back there to me, just tall, statue quarterback, just slings it all over the place. I think eventually you just got to ride the hot hand. If you extrapolate those numbers out, if it's 4,600 yards, I think you just got to go until the wheels fall off.
I think it'll get very interesting. Pull up the schedule. Who do the Texans have next? Because it'll get very interesting. They got the extended break now.
The Colts.
Okay. So C.J. Stroud is going to be back. If C.J. Stroud comes back and looks bad, if he looks all right, it's fine. I think he stays. But if he comes back and looks bad, that noise could get pretty loud because then they'll be staring down going to Arrowhead with going under or over 500, looking at them in the face. That could be a situation that could ultimately maybe push this one way or another.
I have a take that I've been sitting on. It's been in the chamber for a while.
See
now.
it. Come here.
You
Pull
want
it
to see
out.
it? Here.
Pull it out. Pull out the pocket there.
C.J. Stroud had a great rookie year.
Great.
You know who else had a great rookie year?
Who's that?
Mac Jones.
Oof.
Does he have a little bit of Mac Jones in him?
I mean, I said it the other day, for me with Stroud, I still haven't been able to separate that rookie year. I'm still no, he's great. He's great. But we have a pretty large sample size where he hasn't been.
He hasn't been good.
It's not a bad point, Dana. It's not a bad point.
My question is, so obviously if they do have the Colts on deck, Colts are, the leading this division right now.
Yeah.
Do you take the risk and put Stroud back in and potentially lose this game?
Yeah, I think they're committed to Stroud. I think starting quarterback dynamics are very odd. I mean, he's got the C on his chest.
I mean, I get it. As you've said and Chief said, if you extrapolate the numbers, I don't know if that's the risk you want to take at this point in the season when you're basically your entire season really could turn the tides, beating that Colts team.
Yeah.
I just don't know. I think that's all. You got to look at yourself in the mirror, whoever's making that decision, and really think about, is C.J. Stroud the right guy for the rest of the season?
Jeremy, do we ever get the C.J. Stroud numbers extrapolated? We've used that word about 18 times.
C.J. Stroud has not been the same since he tried to big brother Caleb Williams week 1.
Fact.
Okay. Yes, I know. But it felt appropriate at the time.
Did it?
Yes.
1 year? He's like 5 minutes older than Caleb Williams.
No, but he had the skins on the wall at that point. Now, it hasn't gone great since. The only thing, as again, we talk about extending Davis Mills into an entire season. The only thing I'll say there, and why it is maybe a bit of flawed logic, is the NFL is the ultimate counter-punch league, right? And that's what Stroud's going through right now. And sometimes it takes a lot of games and sometimes an entire season before teams figure out, okay, this is what this guy wants to do. we're going to take that away, and then it's up to the player to figure out how to counter that. So, like, Mills has been excellent, but the more he plays, the more film gets out there, the more he's going to be challenged in very specific ways to his skill set.
Yep.
Let's get to the Bills now. Probably put that off a bit too long. But how concerned should we be about Buffalo? They now drop to 7-4. The Patriots look to be in firm control of this division. And for the first time since, I believe, 2021, since November 2021, Josh Allen has a game where he accounts for no touchdowns and one pick, or one or more picks, excuse me. And this is fresh off of the incredible 6 touchdowns. I just don't know what to make of him.
Yeah.
I mean, PFT tweeted this last night. I know we're going to talk about the Lions' inconsistency, but the quarterbacks that have beat the Buffalo Bills this year, Tua Tagovailoa, Davis Mills, Michael Penix, and Drake May. And May is fine, but the rest of that group has not been very consistent or good, and yet here we think one of the best teams in the NFL, the Buffalo Bills, haven't found a way to get it done.
I think it's the turnovers.
Yeah.
I mean, 2 picks. They had a fumble lost as well. If they don't win the turnover margin, they usually don't win. And that goes for really any team. But the Bills have not looked good this year. They are just losing games that they should not be losing. You just mentioned it. They lost to the Falcons and the Dolphins.
Yeah.
And what was it? It was the Patriots and the Texans. So it's not
Patriots
pretty.
loss is fine, whatever. Now, then again, it was at home.
Right.
Yeah.
The problem is fine when you shouldn't have, but still.
It makes you start to worry if you're a Bills fan about, the windows that everybody talks about with your quarterback. I'm not worried about that for the Bills yet. However, you do have this guy named Drake May coming up. He's hot. Could this be kind of a lost window opportunity?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think so. But those are the questions that are going to start happening if you lose to the Falcons and the Dolphins and you're 2 games behind the Patriots. It's not pretty.
But it does feel like this is a blown opportunity this year where you have the Ravens were down because Lamar was out for so long, and the Chiefs look mortal. They're 5-5. Yeah, those 2 teams are looking at them in the rearview mirror. They're coming up right behind them. So one of those teams is not going to make the playoffs, and that would be, to me, a missed opportunity for the Bills in a year where it's like some of their competition is down for Josh Allen. The Bills get over the hump, and they're kind of blowing it.
I mean, if I didn't even consider that, if Patrick Mahomes misses the playoffs, that is Josh Allen's dream because he's been perfect.
Yeah.
He's been perfect in those playoff games.
Yeah.
Something just always goes wrong, and Mahomes is just slightly better. And again, they do have a couple of nice wins with the Bills. Remember, they opened up against the full-strength Ravens. They beat them. They dominate the Bucs last week. So they're and they beat the Chiefs. So they're just a really there's a few of these teams in the league right now. These teams that have dominated kind of the last half decade, the Lions, that are just showing some inconsistency that is hard to put your finger on and hard to figure out. What I didn't find hard to parse last night was the fact that I loved those Texans uniforms.
They were hot.
See, I have hot take. I didn't really like them. It gave like college feel to me. It didn't feel like a professional team.
No,
I'm with
those
you,
are
T-Bob.
way too slick for college.
And to be fair too, I took the Texans plus 5.5 when I saw the uniforms. I was like, man, I don't know, because not only am I going against Josh Allen, who really can be capable of anything at any moment, and then I had the Texans plus the 5.5, and then the uniforms. I wasn't thrilled, but hey, not only did we get a cover, but we got an outright win.
I'm with Meagan. These look like an XFL kind of.
Thank you, Chief.
Yeah, no, dude, look, they're seasonally appropriate. Look at the helmets. They
They're
look
hot.
like little Christmas ornaments running around.
pretty.
Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just so deep in Christmas right now. I've already got the decorations up and listening to music constantly. It just gave me great vibes.
I didn't like those, and then also I would like Dana's take on this. Was it last week that New England wore those like
Blues?
Yeah, but it was like, it looked kind of like a gray, like it'd been washed too many times. I just didn't love that uniform
Why?
either.
Those
fine.
Those were made to be like lighthouse,
Something
like
different.
nautical, like
Didn't
men
do
of
it.
the sea uniforms.
Didn't do it.
Gray as
Need
a
a
Nantucket
muted
Mist.
gray.
like
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
Yeah.
You need a Nantucket Mist.
come on.
Look.
They were great.
I liked him.
As the woman on this show, maybe I have the right take on clothing.
You think you have better style than me? Yeah, of course you do.
Clothing and uniforms the same thing. I feel like I can't judge clothes, but I can judge uniform.
Yeah, well, yeah. Good counterpoint,
Yeah.
Chief. Yeah, thank you. I don't have to know fashion and know uniforms. I think I'm just an idiot. The helmets looked like Christmas ornaments.
I loved them,
And I
too,
loved
Bob.
them. I loved them so
them.
much. Shout out Dana.
I don't want to yuck you boys' yum.
More NFL on the other side. We're going to have some of those conversations that we alluded to about the Lions, some other teams. So don't go anywhere. You're watching Wake Up Barstool. Grab a coffee. Let's have some fun here on this Friday. What's happening, guys? Wake Up Barstool here on FS1. So we recap a little Thursday Night Football. Let's look forward to the NFL weekend that will be. We've got a few key discussions that we want to have here. And let's start with the Kansas City Chiefs, guys. Chiefs-Colts coming up. A great game here. Who would have guessed before the season we'd think about the Indianapolis Colts in the way that we do? I'm a massive Colts believer. I think they are the Kirkland brand Philadelphia Eagles. And
I like that.
I think Kirkland brand is great.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I'm picking up my son today at I think 12:30 from school, and we're going to go to Costco just to go. I don't even think we really have. I want an industrial-sized bottle of lotion because this Chicago weather is just drying me out. I've never been a lotion guy, and it's did you experience that when you moved up here, Meg?
Yeah, I think
Because it was so humid where we lived.
Yeah, the humidity, and also I think the water might be a little bit different. It's like hard water, soft water. I don't really know. I don't know what we had down south, but it's different than what we have here. It definitely dries you out.
Are y'all lotion guys?
Not really.
Bro.
My wife buys me stuff, and then I use it once, and then I forget to do it, and I shower, I put body wash on, I put shampoo, a conditioner, that's about it.
Bro, it feels so good.
Sometimes I'll toss a little tanning stuff on.
Yeah, you got it right now?
Not today.
No color
a little
today?
bro glow. Yeah, Dana's putting me on.
Yeah.
Check out the Big Boys Club, guys. New episode dropped yesterday. We already banked the Thanksgiving episode as well.
Big boys.
I'm also loving. So I've been hitting up the local athletic club we joined a lot, and I'm just loving becoming one of the naked old men in the locker room.
Just letting it all fly out?
Yeah, man, just no shame, walking around with the old fellas. Yesterday, I'm sitting there in front of the mirror, lotioning up in a towel. I hear these guys that are butt naked, probably 70 years old to my left. They're talking about NVIDIA stocks and the market and stuff. It's just a real special place to be.
I think you got to be 75 to be naked in the locker room.
So I'm too
fully
young?
naked, dick out. Oh,
Remove the board. Remove it.
Dana!
No, you can say
Wiener,
that.
you can't say that on TV. You have to say wiener.
Okay. Yeah, we have to keep it scientific. You have to say penis. So I'm too young to go penis out, Dana?
yeah. Oh, sorry.
Quick segue from that while Dana recovers. Did anyone see the video? PFT talked about going to a locker room and, changing in the locker room because, as you said, most men are naked.
Yeah.
Apparently, this guy had a big problem with it, called him a bunch of not great stuff, and tried to fight him because he was changing in a men's locker room.
Tried to fight PFT?
Yeah, and the guy was yelling at him, but he had his headphones in, so he wasn't thinking the guy was
crazy.
getting mad at him.
That's crazy.
Where are you
can't do
supposed
that.
to change?
Yeah.
Look, I don't know, but this guy was very angry that a naked man was next to him in a locker room.
I mean, that's locker room. That is it is an old guy thing, but there is some transition when you're playing sports and you're just in the showers and locker room with the boys.
Yeah.
It's the best.
And then outside of that, though, you have to cover up.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Apologies.
Until you get old enough.
You're still thinking about it?
I made the mistake before. I'm trying to get better.
No.
What are the odds it happens again today?
Hey,
Nothing.
make
Nothing.
that
Zero.
a smiley face, Megan. You know what? We're going to keep good vibes here. That's a happy zero. All right. Speaking of zeros, the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't know how we got here.
Rough
Against
transition.
the Kirkland brand Eagles. Well, so this is why I said it that way, is because I'm so on board with this. I'm not believing in this year's Chiefs team no matter what. I'm done. I'm done with this year. I know it. I know what everybody's going to say. They're inevitable. Mahomes going to turn it on. There's all kind of numbers that say that they're not going to. I don't care if they beat the Colts. I don't care. We have a 10-game sample size of them just being all right. Mm-hmm. They are 0-5 in one-score games this year as opposed to 12-0 last year, so the math gods are coming for them. They have a 4-game deficit in the division for the first time in the Mahomes era.
What does this mean,
I see
though?
you looking at me quizzically. Come over to my side,
You
Chief.
say they're not going to make the playoffs?
Not.
Yeah, well, then bet against Mahomes in the playoffs. See what happens.
I will. It's free.
I bet you won't. I bet you won't.
Yeah, I am. I already am. Right now, I'm making the statement. Say it to yourself. Tell me it's not freeing. free yourself of just always feeling like the Chiefs are going to get it done.
You can't
do it.
You can't do it. And this is one of those things where you didn't make money betting against Alabama. You don't make money writing off Patrick Mahomes. Like, they're going to be
Watch
there.
me.
You won't. They're gonna. I don't know if they beat the Colts. That Colts is at home. That's a sneaky great uniform matchup. I love the classic uniforms. The red, and the blue and the white. That's gonna be great. Dallas win. They'll beat the Texans. They'll probably beat the Chargers. They may
not beat the Texans.
They're
not
going
with Will
on
Anderson
a
and Danielle Hunter
run
getting
here.
off on him.
They're gonna. Stroud will be back in by then, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Wow.
it's
Now we're
Bill
saying
and Davis
Texans
Mills.
lose because of Davis Mills.
So I went around the office last week and was asking for, people for bets for when a certain state goes live. And it was funny to me that you had on one account Ben Mint saying that he loves Kansas City at 10-1 to make the Super Bowl. And then everyone else was on the opposite side for them not to make the Super Bowl.
I mean,
there isn't like another, no offense to the Patriots and the Colts, but there isn't like or the Broncos. Do you trust any of them in a big playoff spot against Patrick Mahomes at this point? I think the answer is no.
I don't. Eventually, at a certain point, and given that schedule, I think you're right. I think they'll make the playoffs. But eventually, I think they look flawed this year. I think they look flawed. I think they flew too close to the sun in these one-score games last season. It's a good feeling.
I think this is going to be.
Chiefs are done.
We were just talking about the Bills. I think this is going to somehow end up. It's going to be a few months from now. It's still going to be Bills Chiefs. Somehow, I don't like. This is just how it has been, year after year. This reminds me of the Patriots when they lost a few games and they said, "Oh, they're washed up. Tom Brady stinks." And then somehow he finds his way in the AFC Championship.
They never lost a division, though, right? They never lost a division in which Brady didn't get hurt.
But I think we're going to be sitting here in January prepping for a weekend of Patrick Mahomes versus Josh Allen.
I'll be happy if it happens, but
right.
Again,
it's going to happen.
No,
like you said, they're not inevitable. They are.
No. It's tough.
Put your money on Bo Nix.
It's tough being this forward of a thinker, having such an evolved mind. And it can be hard sometimes for lesser minds to grapple with what I'm trying to kind of prove to y'all. So just wait, Chief.
Until it happens, I need to see it to believe it.
Yeah.
I need to.
So we went a little long there thanks to my sojourn in a men's locker room. But I do want to make one final point before we go to break here, and then we have Chris Fallica coming up next. Aaron Rodgers has his fractured wrist, right? And yet he is saying that there's a good chance that he will play this weekend against the Bears. The only way that the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to somehow win that division with the Ravens surging is if Mason Rudolph plays. It just makes too much sense. Again, I'm seeing the game behind the game. Christmas is around the corner. This is Rudolph's time to shine. If you play Rodgers, Pittsburgh, I guarantee you're going to lose the AFC North to the Ravens. Okay? Just wait and see. Coming up next, we got Chris Fallica, the Bear, giving us his gambling picks, a little market watch with Meagan, making money. Don't go anywhere.
Woo, woo, woo.
I'm terrified.
Welcome back to Wake Up Barstool here on FS1. It is Friday, and this is quickly becoming a Friday tradition, guys. And that is talking to our guy, Chris Fallica, a.k.a. The Bear. You see him every single weekend on Big Noon Kickoff. Bear, I want to say thank you again, and I want to let you know that we have officially decided you are the first friend of the program. Woo! Congratulations.
I am honored.
Yeah.
Being a friend of the program, I'm glad to be considered a friend, and I consider you all friends as well.
First official friend of the program, and look, so we talk about
third time, right? This is the third.
I think it's third time, and including doing a very long in studio hit. So yes, we love it, and I do thank you. I know you're a very busy man. Now you were writing earlier before the playoff rankings dropped about something that, when you look at the rankings this year, this is very much a not enough oxygen in the room situation. There's going to end up being too many candidates, too little spots. And so much of the conversation is going to center around a Notre Dame team that has two quality losses but kind of no quality wins, and yet they are ahead of teams like Miami. When Miami beat them head-to-head, they're ahead of teams like Oklahoma, where Oklahoma has an objectively better resume. Bear, how do you make sense of it, and what should the playoff committee do with Notre Dame?
The first point I want to get out there is that I think Notre Dame is a playoff team. The thing is, Miami is a playoff team too. And the biggest issue I had with the committee the other night was they're just kind of ignoring wins and placing the emphasis on good losses. Like if you look at the way if you look at the way they rank Notre Dame and Alabama and Miami and Utah and BYU, they kind of have them in the preference of like who has the best loss. Like Alabama has 4 top 25 wins according to the CFP rankings. Notre Dame's got 1, and Alabama's behind them because they lost to Florida State in week 1, and so it's like that's holding weight there. But Miami's win over Notre Dame in week 1 isn't holding any weight. The real conundrum with the committee there is that BYU Utah Big 12 tryst right there. Like neither of those teams really are playoff teams, but BYU only has the 1 loss on the road, getting blown out by Texas Tech. Utah hasn't beaten a soul. They beat Arizona State on its home field when Jeff Sims played, but lost to BYU and Texas Tech. So like that ultimately is the problem right now. I bet Miami the other night at 3-1 to make the playoff because I think you're going to see those Big 12 teams lose, and I think you're going to see that gap shrink, and that's when I think truly the head-to-head will come into play.
Bear, let me ask you about something else. So right now, and of course, you know, I'm an LSU guy, worked in that market for a long time. What people are telling me, if it was any other person than Lane Kiffin, I would actually believe that Lane Kiffin is going to be the next LSU head coach. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I have no idea. Lane is the joker. He's playing his own game here. But if he were to leave, does the committee take that into account pre-playoff when it comes to seeding, whether they make it or not? When you look at how they did Jordan Travis and that FSU team a couple of years ago, like would they weigh that?
Chris Lowe wrote something the other day about that, and he said that they would, and I would agree with that. If you don't have your head coach, who you've had the entire season for your biggest games of the year, certainly that's going to impact your standing. Now, do I think it would knock them all the way out? Probably not, but I do think it would have an impact on the city. And you're right, this whole drama is ridiculous. I mean, I've heard, he's going to Florida. Now I've heard LSU is trying to hijack him. You hear there is an ultimatum. There is no ultimatum. You hear, it's 50-50. He's going to coach in the Egg Bowl, but I don't truly believe that. There's so much ridiculousness out there. I don't know what to believe. I am disappointed. I mean, I think it is in the stars right now to page 225. That didn't happen, so probably LSU's out, right?
Well, okay, hold on. But let me double check this because I think he actually ended up posting devotional page 225. I'm going to run to his Twitter. I'm going to double check right now to see if we can confirm.
Yeah, there might be someone that's super on top of what Lane Kiffin's been doing every second of every day. You know, I won't say it's me.
He did. Okay, he did. He did post page 225, guys. Just so you know, for those who don't know what we're talking about, that's Baton Rouge area code.
Okay. I was lost.
I will take every cryptic piece I can to make the puzzles fit together.
This is so stupid.
I'm with you. I kind of see that.
The
225.
Yeah, no, look, I mean, I don't know. Again, he is the Joker. He's playing his own game. It's all chaos. I think he's setting up a hero's return to Ole Miss.
Landry was in Baton Rouge last night at a meeting with all the women. Hey, you never know what's going to happen.
So, Bear, you just touched on it briefly, but I want to talk a little bit more about this Big 12 piece. So, obviously, a lot hinges on what happens this Saturday at Nippert. Let's say if, and I don't understand the line, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't understand how BYU is the
I was going to ask him about that line as well.
And I'm the biggest Cincy guy you'll meet. I'm not going to go on a tangent like I did 3 weeks ago. If the Bearcats win this game, it kind of feels like it's, all bets are off. Anything can happen. How do you see Saturday's game going? And let's say the Bearcats do win. Where do we go from there?
Yeah, the line does feel a little short at BYU 2.5, but I've said that, I think, a half a dozen times this year with BYU and a lot of their lines. I said it against Iowa State. I said it against Cincinnati. Said it in a bunch of different situations, and it really hasn't mattered. They're 16-1 as a favorite under the last couple of years in Big 12 play outright. Only one loss. So the one loss was last year as a short favorite against Kansas when they wound up losing that great Jalen Daniels game on their home field. So typically they find a way to win games when they're favored, whether it's been short, big, long. The issue, I taking it on the field and not necessarily looking at the numbers, I just don't know how Cincinnati gets a ton of stops. I mean, they're one of the worst defense in the country in terms of getting 3 and outs with Bachmeier and that running game now. I think you're going to see a lot of possession, a lot of long drives, probably an under type of game for me because I just don't think Cincinnati's going to be able to get them off the field. And I bet against BYU a couple of times this year. I just don't want to go back to that well thinking that they're a vulnerable favorite when they typically just don't lose these types of games.
Yeah, and Bachmeier, man, you look at his numbers, and if you just look at the passing numbers, you'd be like, okay, that's pretty good. But when you add in the rushing, his yardage and scoring output is up there with the best quarterbacks in the entire country, and he's getting better as the season has gone on. Looking forward to a couple of the must-win games for potential playoff teams this weekend, Bear. Of course, because the SEC decides to do Cupcake Week at this time, it's a bit of a lighter schedule. However, Mizzou at Oklahoma, very interesting. Bo Prabula all of a sudden may play, and then USC at Oregon. Let's touch on Mizzou, Oklahoma, and then I want to go a bit deeper on USC, Oregon, because that one's so good. What's your read on the Sooners trying to continue this incredible season they're having?
It feels like a lot of people are on Missouri this week. The numbers come down quite a bit. I don't know if you're better off playing Prabula or Zollers. I mean, I think their offense has looked better the last couple of weeks as Zollers gets more reps. And if Prabula's ankle isn't fully 100%, his mobility is his biggest asset. I don't know why you'd play him on the road here. My hunch is that Oklahoma does wind up winning this game. Do I want to lay 7.5 now? Probably not, but I think it's going to be hard for Missouri to go in there and win against an Oklahoma defense that's very good. It's interesting, though, like if you look at the committee rankings and like the computer rankings, the committee has a much higher opinion of Oklahoma than the power ratings do. So that if you're thinking maybe potential upset and you like your computer rating numbers, there's a much smaller gap there between Missouri and Oklahoma. And then the other game Saturday night at Autzen, USC and Oregon, I lay it here. I know it's hit 10 in a few spots, but I just don't know why we expect a different result here than the result we saw USC at Notre Dame last month. They've lost like 9 straight games as an underdog away from home, 0-5 in this spot under Lincoln Riley. Last 21 times they've been a dog. They've only pulled two outright upsets, like 5-16 against the number. I just have this memorized because I remember writing my column. So like it's the spot that you think USC finally going to break through, but they never do. I think Oregon here at home. I think defensively they're going to give USC, who's got some injuries, by the way. Offensive line might be beat up, and their best defensive player may not play. So take note of that when you're watching pregame warmups and injury reports and such.
It is fascinating that we live in a time where this once heralded Pac-12 matchup is a massive Big Ten matchup, yet still as exciting nonetheless. I think it's very important for Oregon to hold serve here, Bear, because if they don't, and if USC somehow goes in and gets that win, all of a sudden Oregon might, there'll be conversations about Oregon wasting the window. Like USC created a power vacuum. They have to emphatically win this game this Saturday. All right, Meg, take it away. Y'all get into some market watch.
Well, we already hit on one of the games that I wanted to ask Bear about, which was that BYU-Cincinnati line. So we kind of explained that one. But there's 2 more games that I just want to get your opinion on, Bear. The first one being Louisville at SMU. SMU is laying 2.5. What do you make of that game, and why do you think the line is what it is there?
It feels right just with the way Louisville and SMU have played a bunch of close games this year. They're basically telling you equal, and SMU is getting a little bit of a home field bump. I will say I am surprised the number isn't north of 3 just because Louisville going to be down their top 2 running backs on Saturday. Ultimately, I don't know if that matters because Jeff Brom does a really good job of mixing in players and a bunch of different schemes. I like Louisville in this game just because I don't trust Jennings and that SMU offense against a good defense. We saw against Miami. They could not generate anything against Miami. That was just Miami basically turning the ball over and giving the game away. I think Brian English and that Louisville defense will hang in there. Would not surprise me if they won the game. But I saw your picks there on DK, and I like the way you played it there.
Right.
Instead of laying 2.5, just lay the money line, because if it does fall 1 or 2, then you're protecting yourself with just a minimal vig increase.
Right, and I, playing it at minus 130, it wasn't like a bunch of juice was coming out of my pocket. Last game that I wanted to get your opinion on, I just think this line, in my opinion, it's way off. It's that Tennessee-Florida game. I mean, Florida +4 at home. It just seems like Tennessee, in my opinion, should be laying like 7. I understand Florida's caught fire and, they have a little bit of momentum, but I don't know. It feels like the book wants me to take Tennessee. I don't know. What do you make of this?
Yeah, I think north of 3 there, 3.5. I think the book is trying to say take the home dog, knowing that Tennessee hasn't won there in 22 years, knowing that the Gators showed up last week in Oxford and nearly beat Ole Miss. I don't know though. I think Tennessee would be. I agree with you. I think Tennessee would be the side here. I think you might be getting a little bit of a discount just because you've seen Florida play Georgia tough. You've seen them play Ole Miss tough. You've seen them beat Texas in the building. But ultimately, I don't know how much they got left in the tank. That offense is so bad, and I know the Vols defense isn't great. This could be a spot where the Tennessee offense are ups.
Yeah, it just seems like a little bookmaking, like recency bias to me. I'm not playing it. I just wanted to make sure that
Swamp at night.
A smart play to stay
Swamp
away
at night,
from that
guys.
game.
Watch out, dude. The Swamp's
It
different at
sucks
night.
to be.
I don't know. Look, I agree. I hate the Gators, but that place gets a little freaky at night. That's all I'm going to say.
Anyone throwing any shoes?
What's that?
Anyone going to throw any shoes maybe tomorrow night?
Oh my God! Probably my favorite game ever. A 5-5 season, and it's a game that will remain in my memory for all time. Bear, Thanksgiving coming up next week. We're not going to get to talk to you again until that moment. What are we doing, dude? What are the Thanksgiving plans?
Well, I'll be home. I got family coming up to Connecticut for me. I got to leave early first thing Friday morning. But no, the family will be up. We're going to host all the usual bird stuffing, cranberries, mashed potatoes, green bean casserole. We're a traditional family there. I don't have the air fryer, so I don't really the green egg. I just go traditional brine and
Me too.
Pop in the oven. So we're doing that, and then Friday morning bright and early to Michigan for Ohio State, Michigan.
So we discussed this, and good God, the college football Black Friday slate is going to be beautiful. But we discussed this on Big Boys Club yesterday. What is the star of the Thanksgiving meal to you? Is it the bird? Is it another piece? What's your favorite?
I'm a stuffing guy.
Yes. Okay. That was the BBC answer, dude.
Carb me up. Just and did you see on Instagram? There's an account that kind of like does all, and they made this like stuffing and mashed potato taco shell in which you put like you make the taco shell like out of mashed potatoes and stuff it with stuffing and gravy and turkey. That's gonna be a Sunday afternoon snack.
Sounds wonderful.
Hell yes, dude. Chris Fallica, the Bear. Catch them on Big Noon Kickoff coming up this weekend. They're going to be Cincinnati, and then, of course, the Big Noon game, Ohio State Rutgers, and then Nip at night after that. Bear, thank you so much.
Thank you, Bear.
First official friend of the program. You have a great weekend, my friend.
Have a great weekend, everybody. Talk to you again soon.
There he is, Chris Fallica. What a legend.
Legends.
All right, coming up next, let's go ahead and close out hour number 1 with the Money Corner. Meagan Make Money gives you her plays over the weekend. Let's make some moolah, baby. What's happening, y'all? Welcome back to Wake Up Barstool. This is FS1. We do it every single Friday. We hope you're having a great day. And check out this brand new graphic that we have, guys, for Meagan Making Money's Money Corner. Let's go.
Now I get my own graphic. This is starting to get real. We had a decent week last weekend, so we're coming back strong. First pick, it's going to be Oklahoma minus the 7.5. I am aware that line was down to 6.5 this morning.
Chief, you have to dance.
I'm assuming that line movement is because Pabula is going to play.
Okay.
But my issue is Mizzou has shown up small in every big game. You have the Sooners 7-4 ATS when favored by 5+ points. Again, I just think that even if Pabula plays, he's gonna not be 100%. I think Oklahoma stretches it out here. If you can get the 6.5, I recommend you take it. Up next, we touched on this game with Bear. I'm taking SMU on the money line. It was minus 130. SMU's off 2 straight wins. In my opinion, they're very evenly matched. They've covered 4 straight, so I can see SMU and Jennings dictating the pace here. I like SMU in this game.
SMU's an odd team, man. I just haven't watched them at all this year. And you look up and they're like, oh, we're 7-3. We're
still
5-1
there.
the ACC.
They're
Just an odd team, but I've been betting on them a lot. Up next, we're going to go ahead, and this one doesn't need much explanation. JMU minus 13.5. They're an absolute wagon this year. 7-3 ATS, superior on both sides of the ball. Top 15 in the nation, offense and defense, and winning by a margin of 20.9 points per game. Go ahead and lay it with the Dukes.
So much Duke glazing at this company.
So much. But you know what? You got to take it whenever you can.
Shout out Bob Chesney. He broke the Wub curse.
Big game. USC Oregon. Obviously, Bear really likes the points. And laying it with Oregon, but I like the over here. Over 59.5. Both of these teams have the offenses to just paint the scoreboard. The only way this does not happen, in my opinion, is if Oregon decides to bleed the clock, use their defense, and just run the ball. But I would love to see an electric matchup.
That game screams 45-38.
Yards per play is a great single statistic to measure an entire offense. And right now, USC, number 1 in the country at 7.3. Oregon, number 2 in the country at 7.2.
Yep. Up next, you got the SEC showdown, Arkansas at Texas. I don't trust Texas. I don't trust Arch. And what I do trust is the fact that Taylon Green will try to do everything in his power to put a crooked number on the scoreboard. And one of those attempts is going to end up in a touchdown. Taylon Green, anytime touchdown, plus 120. Up next, this one is a very boring game. The only thing that it has attached to it is Bill Belichick's name, but I love this pick. And it's UNC team total under 22.5. They have only scored more than 22 points in 2 games this season, and it was against Richmond and Syracuse where they scored 26 and 28. So I love the team total under here.
Yeah. I don't know, though, dude. I'm coming around to this adult co-ed cheerleading thing.
Never. No.
Yeah, did you see the routine?
I don't care.
Did you see the routine?
You cannot be Bill Belichick and tarnish your name by losing at UNC and then watching adult people flip around.
It's a supportive boyfriend.
And apparently they're a wagon of a team. Jordan's team is. They're like back-to-back. They're like national champion dynasty.
It's called being supportive.
Yeah, whenever you're adults.
Is she a better cheerleader than he is coach?
Well, we talked about it yesterday. Bill's infamous for being a control freak, right? He wants every part of the program to be elite. You have to start with the little things.
Why doesn't he start with his coaching career at UNC?
Because he sees that the UNC cheerleaders got to step it up, and then the football team follows after.
All right, only 2 more picks on the docket. I'm taking the Nebraska Huskers plus the 9.5. I think it's down to 8.5. I think it's just too many points for Minnie Mahomes. They're in better form. They have better QB play. Johnson should be able to go grind the grass and dictate the pace. They dealt with a tight loss to USC and then beat UCLA at their house. I don't really see why Penn State's laying so many here. Give me Nebraska. And last but not least, I skipped one. It's Arizona minus the 7. You're going to go ahead and lay it with the better team at home.
Love Brent Brennan.
Love it. Love Fafita. And those are the picks for the week. Let's see if we can't get in some money. I love you guys.
Don't blow raspberries at me. Don't blow raspberries at me. Hey, don't be doing that.
But to everybody else, mwah, I love you, and so does the Money Corner.
All right, guys, hour number 2. Brian Baldinger kicking us off. Don't go anywhere. What's happening, y'all? Welcome back. Wake Up Barstool, hour number 2 here on FS1. And so one of the coolest parts about this job is every now and then we get these sort of bucket lists sort of guests. And if you're someone like me that loves football, played O-line, and loves passionate film breakdowns, then there is literally no one better on the internet to follow and to watch. And I am so excited that we are now joined by Brian Baldinger, Baldy NFL on social media. The man, dude, does everything. Baldy, what's up, brother? How we doing here on this Friday?
I'm good, guys. Good, man. I saw that. I saw the best defensive football play last night, led by Will Anderson, and that kind of got me percolating early this morning, going back and rewatching it and just seeing just the carnage that they created out there in that field last night.
Man, it was carnage, bro. That was a hard-hitting game. Okay, so I wanted to ask you about this because in my mind, I've just had the Broncos. Okay, they're the best defense in the NFL. The sack numbers are absolutely out of control. They're absurd. But is it actually the Texans, in your opinion?
I think they're just more physical. I mean, look, the Broncos have, they've got a nice blueprint for what they're doing. But I watched Josh Allen, just get beat up last night. He was sacked 8 times. He was hit 12 or 14 times. But literally, they didn't blitz at all. They don't need to blitz.
Yeah.
Their front four, Daniil Hunter, Will Anderson, Mario Edwards, Danico Autry, the whole group, Derek Barnett. They're 8 deep, and they just keep coming at you. And literally, they play everybody back, and then they just, they wore those bright red Cardinal jerseys and uniforms last night. It looked like there was just blood in the water all night watching that, it was just a shark fest.
Yeah, it fires you up. Baldy, okay, before we get into more specifics, I've always wondered this from afar. You watch so much film. It feels like there's not a college or NFL game that goes by that you don't have a breakdown or an opinion on. What does the average Brian Baldinger day look like? How are you just in the lab 24/7, just in that room right there, breaking it all down?
A lot of coffee. What happened, honestly, was I started doing this thing, 7 or 8 years ago, and I turned in my flip phone and got an iPhone. And thought I should join the revolution. I didn't want to. I fought it for a long time. I'm like, So we started putting a couple clips up, and it caught on real quick. The players liked it. The coaches commented on it. And the fans liked it. So it kind of grew. But what happened was, if you left the New Orleans Saints out, just because they were just dreadful to watch, the fans would get all ticked off, because you got good players in every team. Cam Jordan, So it got to the point where if you left one of the teams out, they would get pissed at you, and that's not right. There's good players on bad teams. So then I started to go, how do I watch 16 games or 14 games?
Yes.
So I just started going, okay, if I can start on Sunday night, I will, if it's possible. If I was doing a game in Los Angeles a couple of weeks ago, and I just stayed at SoFi Stadium. And I just stayed there till the red eye took me back home. And then I just grabbed a cup of coffee, came right in the film room. So I got to jump. And then it's literally 15 hours on Monday, 15 hours on Tuesday, and sometimes 15 hours on Wednesday.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of time. Because there's really no shortcut. You don't know what you're going to miss if you're just skipping through this stuff.
Man, that's impressive.
That's why he's the best.
He's got a full work week by Tuesday.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
That is awesome. So I just want to talk a little bit about Jalen Hurts. It's something that's been talked about a lot this season.
Yeah.
And you've seen him struggle, and you've seen him kind of lean on their run game, but it hasn't been pretty. But they're still somehow winning games. So what is going on with Jalen Hurts, in your opinion, just from the passing perspective for the Eagles?
Well, he won a Super Bowl last year, right? And they won 18 games last year, and he was the Super Bowl MVP. And during that time, he averaged about 21 passes a game because they had the best rushing attack and the best runner in football in Saquon. So he's playing the same way this year. It's just that they're not running the ball as well. But, to start the game last week, there was 5 drop passes like that one right there. 5 drop passes in a game. Now, nobody wants to talk about that. Devontae Smith drops one right there. But the thing is that he's the only he's thrown the fewest interceptions in this league. He's thrown 1. he's not going to put the ball in harm's way. Not when the defense is playing as well as it is and it's been retooled with Jalen Phillips and a healthy Jalen Carter and, Nakobe Dean coming in at linebacker. He knows he's got as good a defense there is in football. He knows if he doesn't turn the ball over, even if they don't look pretty doing it, they're going to have a chance to get to 8-2, which is where they're at. And so, he could throw some comebacks to A.J. Brown. He could have thrown and completed a couple deep balls to Saquon and A.J., but the wind was howling in Philadelphia on Sunday night against Detroit. So, he didn't connect on some of those deep shots that he normally does. So he's just going to be really careful with the ball. And the outside noise, anybody that's met Jalen Hurts, he's really good at blocking it all out.
Yep.
And if his teammates are whining in front of the locker, and AJ's not whining, he's just saying, look, if we want to win another Super Bowl, we can't play at this level. We got to play better. And he's not wrong either. So I live in Philly. This is good for Philadelphia, guys. Yeah. Honestly, they're winning games, and they got all this controversy going on. And, this is your first question. So it's good in Philly. Everybody's happy. The media's happy. The fans are bitching. The fans are booing, and they're winning. That's the world in Philadelphia.
Yeah. Similar question. Another team with a lot of noise around the quarterback finding ways to win is the Chicago Bears. I'm a Chicago guy. I believe in Caleb. I want you to make me believe in him further. So what do you got on Caleb and the Bears, and do you think he can carry them into the playoffs?
I think he can carry them into the playoffs. Now, they play Pittsburgh in Soldier Field. I don't know. You're a Bear fan. You tell me the last time a game was this big, in late November in Chicago. I can't remember. I don't remember the last time. Might have to go back to Urlacher days.
Yeah, it's maybe 2018. And it is Aaron Rodgers supposedly coming in. I think he's going to play. So it is terrifying to set that up. But it's but I want to feel better about this game.
I'll tell you a quick story about Caleb. He went to high school in D.C., and I was at a quarterback collective high school football camp. Jaden Daniels was there. Drake May was there. Neusmeyer was there, and Caleb was there. So they had me set up a film room. And one by one, these guys would come in the film room, and I would just put up coverages and how do you attack this? And, you put Caleb to the test, back in 5 years ago in high school, he knew, and without being even cocky, this is what I would do. I know Mahomes did this, but I might do, he already understood coverages and how to attack. And then you saw his arm talent. Even in high school, you're like, this guy is going to be really good. And he needed a really good coach to really coach him hard because he had flaws. He was way too frenetic when he played, and he was sacked way too much, and some of it was his fault last year. But now they've got a real committed offense to the run game, which has been very good. He's playing under center, a lot of play action passes. They've got 2 tight ends that can block. They've got 2 running backs that can run. They fixed the interior of the offensive line, and slowly it's coming on. And so he's still not completing some of the throws I think he's capable of making. So there's still some development to go, but he's giving them the chance to win every week. And the offense it used to be unwatchable. I didn't know what they were doing last year with him. It was horrible. But it's really, you can see the growth, with him right now. And I think it's encouraging because I don't think we've come close to seeing the best of Caleb.
Is that a real quick follow-up here? Is that Ben Johnson then? I mean, a lot of that answer sounds like advocating and validating the Johnson hire.
Oh, no question. I think a big part of it is Ben Johnson. Now, they've done a lot of things to improve the offense. Rome Odunze was a great pickup. And, Colston Loveland is coming on. But I think a lot of it is just Ben and the buttons he pushes and how he does it. The backup quarterback was getting more attention in preseason for a reason and got a new contract in preseason for a reason. That was a button he pushed to tell Caleb, look, you got to stay in the pocket. You got to win from the pocket. You got to keep your eyes down the, so he started doing a lot of those things. Last year at this time, after 10 games, he'd been sacked 41 times. This year, after 10 games, he's been sacked 16. The sacks are way down. The decision-making is much clearer and cleaner than it ever was last year. I mean, 3rd and 3 last year, they would throw a go ball 50 yards down the field.
Out of bounds.
That was wrong.
Yeah.
You guys watched it last year. That's not happening this year.
Baldy, help me with this. So the producers, we were always they're coming up with like great NFL topics to talk about and whatnot. And one of the questions that they wanted us to kick around that we haven't gotten to yet is the inconsistency of the Detroit Lions. And admittedly, I haven't watched the film on every Detroit Lions game, so I found myself at a loss. Like I didn't feel like I had a great insight or answer to it. How would you explain the mercurial nature of this year's Lions team thus far?
Well, they lost. I mean, nobody wants to talk about it. When you lose Frank Ragnow, I mean, he's the best center in football. I mean, he retires at age 29.
Yep.
Like that. Look, and nothing against Glasgow. He's a good player. He's not Frank Ragnow. So, last week, there was a lot of pressure right up the middle. They had 5 balls batted down by Philadelphia. And they're a big team that likes to hit their crossers in the middle of the field. Now, Amon-Ra St. Brown is as good as anybody in this business, catching these crossing routes. Well, 5 of them got batted down and 1 got batted for an interception. And so I think some of it is still the loss of Frank Ragnow.
Yeah.
Like, he was just that good. He's 6'5". He was great in the run game. He could handle Jalen Carter and, Jordan Davis inside. I think they struggled a little bit last week with that. And then physically, Philadelphia, they were just better. Jalen Phillips and Nolan Smith, and they were just better than Detroit last week. And you could see the frustration with Jared Goff. I mean, look, they go for it on 4th down 5 times. You don't convert one of them?
Yeah.
I know that's Dan Campbell's mantra, and that's what he's been known for, and it's cost him in some playoff losses, but that's they're going to be aggressive. That's fine. Sometimes you got to pick who you're going to be aggressive against, and that backfired on him last week. But it also defensively, I've seen games this year where they've played 5 backups in the secondary, including 2 safeties that had really never played before, and that's where they're at defensively right now with some of the injuries that they've had, and I don't think they really still have a rusher opposite Aiden Hutchinson the way Houston does with Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson.
Real quick, Baldy. Brock Purdy, he's back, and they got a game against the Panthers on Monday Night Football. What are you expecting from him kind of coming off this injury? Obviously, they played well last week. I know it's going to be kind of a curve for him to keep getting better each week. What are you expecting out of the Niners on Monday Night Football this week?
A couple things. One, Mac Jones played great when he was in there. They won a lot of games because of Mac Jones. And so the question was, should you put Brock Purdy back in there? And, Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch and Jed York, they basically said, Brock Purdy's our starter, and they were firm about it. And then when you watched Brock last week, he was the starter. He was amazing last week. And if to your question, if he gets better than what he was a week ago, like this was a little wheel route by Kittle. This is, a little post corner to Kittle here for a touchdown. But these throws were designed to go in there. They beat man coverage with linebackers. McCaffrey beat a rookie, Cody Simon, in the end zone. Like, he didn't miss. Like, if you went to a state fair and you wanted to win the biggest teddy bear, you'd put Brock Purdy in there knocking down milk bottles. He knocked them all down last week.
Okay, this just came to mind when you were talking about the Mac Jones, Brock Purdy situation. What do you make of Davis Mills, C.J. Stoud? Is there anything there? Mills going 3-0 as a starter, putting up some pretty good games? Or is that just us trying to create narrative where there is none?
CJ's a starter.
Okay.
Last night the defense carried him. He started the game. I think he was 1 for 8. Start the game. He wasn't going real good, but he came back and he threw the 2 touchdowns. That's all they needed. That's all that defense needs is you get them to 20 points, they're going to win, and that's just where it's at right now. But you hope your backup can win games. They won 3 in a row.
Yeah,
and they were dead in the water and they were deep in the crypt, and here they are. They got a winning record right now. And so I think it's been fantastic that Davis has played like this, and he hasn't hurt the team. He's not turning the ball over. And so credit Davis Mills, but C.J. Stoud is you'll see that Nico Collins connection come right back. And if the offensive line can kind of play like they did, they're not very good up front in Buffalo. And so they had a running game last night. Woody was really good.
Yeah.
So, but CJ's a starter when he gets back from this concussion.
So there are two teams right now, one in the AFC, one in the NFC, that are having very good years with quarterbacks that were once thrown out into the garbage. It's Sam Darnold, the Seahawks. It's Daniel Jones and the Colts. Do you believe in both of these teams going forward? Is there more one that you believe in more than the other when it comes to a playoff type of situation? What's your read on these guys?
Well, I'm going to see Indianapolis against Kansas City this week. They're coming off a bye week. Both of them have they're both great reclamation projects from where they were drafted and what they did and where they are. Daniel Jones is a great fit right now for Shane Steichen in Indianapolis. Likewise, Sam. I believe more in Seattle than Indianapolis right now because I think Seattle's defense is much better. I think Seattle's defense can carry them, even if Sam Darnold, turns the ball over like he did last week against the Rams. Not all of them were his fault, but nonetheless, they all fall on the quarterback. So he's really been guilty of turning the ball over the last 2 weeks, even against Arizona and a blowout win against Arizona last week or 2 weeks ago. He still turned the ball over. So I think those things can happen. I feel like Seattle's defense can bail them out better than Indianapolis's defense, especially without DeForest Buckner in the middle of that defensive line right now.
Baldy, I feel like I could talk to you for just hours and hours and just pepper you with queries, but we'll end here. You mentioned reclamation projects. There could be an impending situation there with J.J. McCarthy. It's been a pretty disastrous first few starts in Minnesota. I find it very interesting that Kevin O'Connell, somebody who obviously knows offense so in depth, fully threw his weight behind J.J. McCarthy. What's your read on J.J.? And I know he's not a finished product, but should it look better than it has thus far?
Well, you're a Bears fan. You saw how many throws he missed last week. He missed a lot of throws. Yeah. And, it's hurting the team. And, Justin Jefferson is probably doing everything he can to bite his tongue and not say anything. But this is a very good team around the quarterback. It's built. I mean, they won 14 games last year, with Sam Darnold. It's a very good team. It's a better team around the quarterback than it was a year ago. They're better on the defensive line. Wow. They're better on the offensive line than they were a year ago. They should be better than they are. They're struggling at the quarterback position. And so it's a question of how patient you're going to be. I mean, you might have to eat this season. It's going down the drain really, really fast right now. To lose at home to Philadelphia with Carson Wentz, to lose at home against Chicago, with JJ, it has not gone well. And so I don't know. You can't keep missing throws like this. I don't care what the name of the back of the jersey is or what year in the league you are. They should be better offensively than they are right now.
Baldy NFL, Brian Baldinger. Check out Baldy's breakdowns on Instagram, Twitter, everywhere. They're absolutely incredible. Baldy, cannot thank you enough for giving us so much time this morning. I know you're a very busy man. Have a great weekend. Happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy the turkey. And, hopefully we'll talk to you again in the future.
Let's do it. All right, guys. Yeah, have a great weekend yourself, man. It's going to be fun.
Thanks, Baldy.
Thanks, Baldy.
Dude.
You bet.
3 15-hour film days to start the week.
He's the man.
Absolutely
you gotta
insane.
love football.
Gotta love ball.
Gotta love it.
Ball guy.
And I do. Baldy ball guy. All right, coming up next, Smash or Pass Thanksgiving edition. Don't go anywhere because we got more Wake Up Barstool. We've got Brock Huard coming on the program a bit later. Talk some CFB. Maybe a little Seahawks there as well. Don't go anywhere. Stay. Tomorrow on Fox, a huge day of football kicks off with Big Noon Saturday as Julian Sain and top-ranked Ohio State look to keep their perfect season alive against Rutgers. Then at 4, TCU battles Houston, and at 8, BYU makes their push for the playoffs against Cincinnati. And it all begins with Big Noon Saturday, only on Fox. Welcome back, guys. It is time. We do it every single Friday, and we got Brock Huard coming up next. But right now, we're hungry. Thanksgiving is on the horizon. Let's do some Smash or Pass Thanksgiving edition. What have the producers cooked up for us this week? Let's see. Smash or Pass. white or dark turkey meat? Okay, so this is more of a pick one here.
Okay, I was gonna say either.
Yeah. I'd probably go dark. I like it better with gravy.
Come on now.
Yeah.
We all know.
Yeah.
It's dark meat.
That's
It's
the
dark
answer.
meat, brother.
I don't think it is. I don't think it is.
What?
Yeah.
It gets a little too
Classic
dry.
Midwest dry white guy here.
No, I like them both. but,
Dry
like,
guy.
You gotta-
Dry guy.
You got the,
Dry
with
guy
the turkey.
rye.
You got all the tendons in there. It's a mess. So give me the white.
Dry guy rye. To be clear, if your turkey's dry, it's because it was not cooked correctly.
Correct.
It's hard. It's hard. It's
Yeah.
hard to do, but you should. But so I'm a dark meat guy. You ever had chicken koreagi?
I don't know if I have.
It's just all fried dark meat. It's incredible. All right, what's next?
Pass.
Smash or pass jellied cranberry sauce.
I think it's
About
pointless.
this yesterday. Yeah, I know that you are a seasoned veteran with this. I'm out.
It's gross.
I've never been in on it, but I've discovered one way in which I've started to enjoy it. And it is, you know how you ever put like jelly on a sausage biscuit?
Yeah.
I don't love it alone.
No.
Okay,
No, I haven't.
Okay,
Yeah.
never mind then. We have.
Yeah.
It's as a condiment on one of my Thanksgiving sandwiches. That's the way that I like it.
See, my mom and my grandma make the cranberry sauce in a different way. They call it cranberries in the snow, and it's like a cranberry salad. Like, not salad, but it's like the cranberries with the jelly stuff, and then like marshmallow cream and pecans on the top.
Oh.
And that's the only way I like it, and it's really yummy that way.
Okay. I will smash this as a condiment on my Thanksgiving
Pass.
sandwich covered in gravy. All right, what do we got next?
Duh.
I mean,
And it's
gosh.
pecan. It's pecan. Don't say pecan. That's not real. It's pecan.
Pecan pie, double smash. Have you all ever had this?
I don't think I have.
I don't think I've had this one either.
Oh, my
What?
aunt makes great pecan
Bruh.
tarts. Oh,
I also think I say pecan.
where'd it go?
You say
I
pecan?
think I say pecan.
Would you eat this though? Does this look appetizing to you?
I would try just about anything. Yeah, I would give it
Yeah.
a shot.
Oh my
Try it.
God,
What's
you would have
underneath?
your
You would
mind
love it.
blown.
It's just like it's like a filling of it's like a brown sugar pecan. Like basically it's
It's like a coffee
It's like a
cake
brown
kind of thing.
sugar filling, like gelatin almost sort of.
yeah.
deal. I don't know how to
Trust me,
explain it.
you would like it.
Okay.
I promise.
Do you call coffee cake? Is that like monkey bread?
No, there's differences
No,
between
you don't
coffee
know what
cake
coffee
and monkey
cake
bread.
is?
Well, I
Like
don't
a little
know. No.
crumbly
Monkey bread pulls
cinnamon
apart.
sugar.
Yeah, okay, so we always called monkey bread coffee cake growing up, so it's caused some problems in my life.
Yeah,
but
understand.
yeah, I mean, I'd have sex with this pecan pie right here.
Smash.
Green bean
Yeah,
casserole,
get
easy
that.
smash.
You gotta have a little bacon
Oh,
in there
it's
though
so
too.
good.
Yep.
I like a nice. You see how that has just like some of the what do you
You need
call
a
them?
lot of crispy
Straws.
onions.
You need the whole thing covered.
Yeah.
More crispy onions.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody's mad at more crispy onions.
No, no one
Agreed.
will.
You do the bacon in there?
I would never turn
yeah.
down bacon
Yeah.
under any circumstance.
Bacon sounds great.
Throw
in
some
there.
bacon in there.
All right, what's up next? Smash or pass? This is even smash. Sweet potato casserole. Yeah, I mean, look, guys, it's all smash. It's Thanksgiving food.
Yeah, I can pass on sweet potatoes, but if you do like a sweet potato souffle like casserole, add a little extra sugar and stuff, I mess with it then. But regular sweet potatoes aren't really for me.
I love sweet potatoes. I hate when they put the little marshmallows in there though.
See, I love that.
I don't love marshmallows.
I want the
honest.
marshmallow crust on the top, like a
Nah,
good
yeah, I know,
s'more.
I
Oh,
gotta
it's so
pass
good.
that.
I love marshmallows though.
I just want to take everything we just saw, except for maybe the cranberry, and just mix it all up
yeah.
into one giant pile.
I will say
Pour
that's
gravy over the top.
my favorite thing about Thanksgiving is the next morning, my mom just lays it all back out, and we usually have like fresh, like homemade rolls that my grandma would make or I would make.
Homemade roll.
Yeah, and then we would just
Say less.
stack the turkey, the gravy, the dressing,
yeah.
everything
Getting
on top
horned
of
up
it.
on a
I am
Friday.
so hungry.
I love corn
How
pudding.
about these guys don't even know about that turkey gumbo either. Making the turkey stock.
No, that nice fried turkey. You got the carcass. You boil it down. You make your own stock. Oh, it's the best.
I don't like the word carcass.
Well,
Turns me off to any food.
That's fair.
I don't want to
It's
eat
not a
food
great
with
word.
carcass.
We eat a lot of carcasses
In Louisiana? Yeah.
Yes, big carcass state. Maybe the #1 carcass state, people are saying. Coming up next, Brock Huard going to be talking some CFB, get into some NFL as well. Very excited to talk to Brock. Don't go anywhere because we got more Wake Up Barstool on FS1. Let's have a Friday.
Woo woo.
Smash, smash. Welcome back to Wake Up Barstool here on this Friday. Our great guest lineup continues. Now it's time to talk to our guy, Brock Huard. You've seen him. He's been calling games for years and years, guys. Now host of the Brock and Salt radio show as well up there in Washington. Brock, what's going on, man? Thank you so much for waking up with us here on this Friday.
That's a good-looking set you guys got, man. A lot going on there.
Yeah,
a lot going
very
on.
nice.
Yeah.
We are very blessed, Brock. We're in Chicago. The autumnal crisp is in the air.
Love it.
Football
Love
weather's good. I'm a Saints guy, but the Bears are good, so all these a-holes are walking around all happy.
Chest puffed out.
They're leading the
Nice.
North. Okay, look, so I want to get to everything, but first, let's talk about you, Brock, because as I said, right, we've all watched you call games forever now. But you made an interesting decision, a family decision. You decided, okay, I'm going to take a year off. My son's playing football. I want to help out. I want to coach. How's that been going, man? What's it like?
It's been great. Yeah, I kind of knew going into last year, and it was my final year at Fox contractually. So it kind of was one of those deals that just worked out. Door open, door closed, and told them, my son was a freshman last year. He was a backup. And I just said, I can't imagine being like in, I don't know, Lubbock or Ames or Manhattan, the Little Apple, watching my son's games on my NFHS. I just don't see that happening. And then my son Titus said, Dad, I'd love for you to be here. So he's our youngest. My two oldest girls are both basketball players. One's done. One's still playing up there at Oklahoma State. Never missed their games. Never had to with the schedule. But yeah, with the fall being what it was, needed to be home. Jumped in, head coach, awesome. Mike Sanford, for you football junkies out there, you might remember that name. Coordinated at Notre Dame, coordinated at Boise State, head coach at Western Kentucky. His last gig was at CU, and he's got younger kids. I was like, I'm done. I'm done. Moving everywhere. So thankfully for Valor Christian, where my boy goes, he jumped in to be the head coach and getting a chance to be the tight end coach. Man, put the hand in the dirt, facing the fan. Go
wow. Wait, so my old man Brock was Bobby Hebert, and he used to coach my teams growing up. He would sometimes have trouble relinquishing control. Obviously, we know how you NFL quarterbacks can be. What has that transition been like, coaching and kind of, finding your way within the staff?
Yeah, the first game, I got to tell you, man, I had these little feelings in my belly I hadn't had in like 20-something years. And Titus is a quarterback, and, everybody watches the quarterback. So I get to coach my tight ends, and Mike does an amazing job and has all year developing the team. And that's made it a lot easier. I don't know how your head coach was there or the other guys on staff, T-Bob, but we got a good crew, and Mike leads the whole deal. And as I said, with his background, goodness gracious, I've learned a lot of football. Like, if and when the time comes I go back into a booth, I know I actually will be a whole lot better for this. Just seeing the game and seeing the RPO game, seeing the game in ways that were a little different than when I played it. And I could talk about it, but now living it and teaching it and being a little bit more equipped with it, I think I'll be a little bit better the next time around.
Oh, that's really cool.
Man, that's awesome. Just switching gears here. So obviously the Seahawks have been playing really well this year. I want to know from your perspective what you think their ceiling is. Do you think they have the possibility to be a Super Bowl contending team at this point? Obviously, Sam Darnold, the big question with him is, last year he had a great regular season, but we saw what happened in the playoffs. Where are you with the Seahawks now in terms of their playoff hopes?
Yeah, I think watching the NFL and even last night with Buffalo, right? I mean, this is not like the last 10 or 15 years. It's a little bit like our Mariner team that we got done celebrating all the way to the ALCS and nearly the first World Series. It was the same thing, like, especially in the American League. There was no longer that dominant team that was so much better that you're like, wow, it's been a great ride, but we just don't have that roster. And I think the NFL is that way. I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, boys, but there's no 15-1, 16-1 Chiefs team. There's no, 15-2 Eagles team. I don't think they're going to get to that point, right? There's a lot more. Everybody always says parity, but now it's like 1 through 32. I mean, we could see a playoffs very real without Lamar and without Mahomes. And when was the last time we have seen that? So, yeah, I think there's a lot of teams. I think there's a team up in Denver. I think there's a team in Foxborough. I think there's a team in Seattle and LA, in Indianapolis, kind of all over the country now. And the great game of the NFL and the ratings and all the eyeballs, I'm going to assume, are going to go up and up and up, with all of those markets now way more invested and truly feeling and believing like, hey, we play our game. We play to our capability. We can win this whole doggone thing. And I think there's a lot of teams that can say that, Seahawks being one of them.
Pivoting to college football, there is a super team. It is Ohio State. Is there a team that's a little bit of a dark horse, maybe outside of that top 3 or 4, that you think can go on a run and win the national championship?
Yeah, I mean, I think if the 4 of us, got to kind of go to each facility, and I always used to love to do this, and it's probably it's the one thing I miss the most of being off the road, is getting my eyes actually in the building and sitting with the players and the coaches and watching them practice. And that proximity does kind of focus your eyes a little bit more. And I think if the 4 of us were to do that around the country, and we went to Oregon on a Friday and watched those guys practice, I think all of us would say, whoa, well, that group's got some dudes now. They got dudes up front, I was looking at some mock drafts. I was texting with some NFL people yesterday, and, this draft is kind of funky. This draft is not nearly as good as the last couple drafts. But in looking at it, well, there's a duck. Oh, there's a duck. Oh, there's a duck. There's a duck lineman. There's a duck D lineman. There's a duck edge. There's a duck corner. There's a duck possibly quarterback. There's a top 15 duck tight end. Like, they got a lot of dudes. And this weekend will obviously be an enormous one for SC up there. But I think it could be a statement game for Oregon as well, because talent-wise, yeah, they're way, way up there.
Yeah, they're incredible. I mean, even they have one of the best freshman corners you've ever seen. Watching him and Kai Lemon do battle is going to be great. What number is Sam going to be wearing this weekend, Brock?
Ooh, let's see.
Brock's nephew, for those that don't know, Brock's nephew Sam was the quarterback that they put in at punter wearing 80 in the now infamous number scandal for the fake punt from SC.
That was insane. Smart.
That's pretty wild, man. Pretty wild. Fake punt gate. Yeah, he was 80 that week. This last week he was 0. So I think Lincoln's kind of having fun screwing with the guys on the other side, trying to hide the lefty. That play had been in for for 5 or so. I think the Michigan game was the first one that he told Uncle and others, like, hey, just be alert. There could be a little something funky at punt. And then it wasn't in for a few weeks. And I was a terrible friend, man. I didn't tell Benetti or RG3, my old crew. I could have given them a heads up, but I didn't, because I forgot, because I'm getting old. But who knows? Who knows? But hopefully, I think he would like to be back to number 7. I think that's kind of his favorite of them all.
Yeah, so you mentioned how good Oregon is, but SC's proven some stuff to me this year. Yeah. Even in that Illinois game, a spirited comeback, barely falls short in the end, but that win against Iowa, falling down in the manner that they did, it's raining in LA. If there was ever a sign from God that Iowa was supposed to win that game, there it was. And yet SC finds a way to effect a very tough comeback, shuts them out the second half, gets the big win. Has your view of this program changed after that as they prepare to go into Autzen this weekend?
Yeah, they're coming. I don't know if they've got enough coming for Saturday. I know next year they got the best recruiting class in America. The acquisition phase has been pretty good for the Trojans over the last 9 to 12 months. Jim Bowden's son, the old Cincinnati Reds GM, you realize he's the GM now at SC. He was the same GM for Freeman at Notre Dame to help build up those rosters. And you talk to the folks at SC, and not only do I have a nephew there, my little brother is the offensive coordinator for Lincoln, and you talk to the people around there and what that has meant to really building the foundation. They've got a new indoor that's going in that's absolutely incredible. Little Bowden Jr. Has done a remarkable job in the recruiting. They would all tell you to a man, night and day difference with that whole structure coming in, building their program, and allowing Lincoln to coach and DeAnton to coach and the rest of the coaches to coach and not be so spread thin. So they've gotten on par with the rest of the superpowers around college football. And And this year, I think, has been a big step in physicality. I think next year could be a real, especially if the crew comes back, that could be a real dangerous animal in 26.
Yeah, and it's interesting. All the pressures on Oregon this weekend to kind of prove that they have not wasted the power vacuum that opened up as USC's kind of been finding their way. We need SC to be good, though. We need a couple of superpowers there on the West Coast. Obviously, Washington's still relevant as well, even though it's been a bit up and down there. I know you're a Husky guy. What's the current temperature around that program?
Yeah, I think a little bit mixed. I think you look at the West Coast and west of the Rockies, and it really is Oregon, SC, and what Jed has done. He put together a great crew last year. I believe I was just looking at the rankings yesterday, and I want to say they're 16 or so in some of the different composite 247, right up there. It's, again, SC and Oregon and Washington, and that's kind of the pecking order. Little Demond, though, man, that dude is really fun. He kind of reminds us old heads of this team. Let's see, the Seahawk team back with Russell Wilson in the day, of just having a wizard back there that just makes things happen. And Demond is lightning fast. He's even faster than prime Russell used to be. So hadn't been good on the road, not good enough. I think they felt like they could get one of those on the road this year. They did not get either of them, unless they're out of this little playoff chase. But they got a little fun factor, and Jed knows how to develop quarterbacks as well.
So looking forward to the playoffs, you kind of talked about maybe somebody knocking off Ohio State. Is there a team maybe outside of the top three, not Oregon, that you think could get it done? Are you a Texas Tech believer, or do you
Notre Dame?
Would you take? Okay, or we can have the Notre Dame conversation, right? What would you take if I offered you right now, Ohio State or the field? Where would you go?
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably take the field. It's hard. And what Ohio State did a year ago, remember this time last year, it was Ryan Day, not going to make it, especially after losing to Michigan. And then they go on an unbelievable run. And they had to beat, a bunch of superpowers to get all the way there. But I think Miami's dangerous. I think Tech is dangerous. I think Georgia is playing their best football when it matters. You mentioned Notre Dame. I remember talking to my brother coming off of that game, and he's like, yeah, that personnel is different. I mean, that second level is elite. That running back is elite. They may not have some of the overall depth, so injuries will be a big part of it for Notre Dame to stay really healthy. And obviously, CJ continue to mature through this process. But yeah, I would still, in that regard, I love saying, but he's a first-year player. There are still some young components, especially, at the line of scrimmage there for Ohio State. But it's going to be wild, man. The NFL is wild. College football is wild. I don't love a lot of where college football has gone, kind of an old school traditionalist, but there's no stopping it now. And the one thing it's done is it's created a whole lot more fun competition. Like I said about the NFL, man, now we got Bloomington, now we got Lubbock, we still got Eugene, South Florida, right? We got a lot of places that are very interested because I think they all really legitimately feel like they got a shot that they didn't feel like when Nick and Kirby were running the whole thing.
Brock Huard, host of Brock It's All up there, Seattle Sports 710 a.m. Brock, real quick here on the way out, quarterfinals coming up this weekend. Where the nerve levels at? How we feeling?
It's leveled out as the year's gone on. It's felt a little bit. I was worried about myself that week. I didn't know if I'd make it through the year week one. But yeah, I've calmed down, trusted the boys. They've done an amazing job, and we'll lay it on the line. I know that. We will lay it on the line.
Hell yeah, man. Well, kick ass this weekend. Best of luck to the boys. Hope y'all get the big quarterfinal win. And thank you so much for waking up with us today.
Let's do it again, man. It was fun.
Absolutely,
good luck,
man.
Brock.
Anytime. Good luck, Brock.
Have a good weekend.
All right, boys. See ya.
All right, when we get back, let's go ahead and close out today's Friday show, man. We got to show you a wild highlight involving Troy and the men of Troy, as well as our Skillet special Parlay. So, more Wake Up Barstool to close out the week next. What's happening, guys? Last segment of the week. Massive thank you to everybody involved for another great week here on Wake Up Barstool. Little shadow box. I did some boxing last night. Very fun, but God, my wrist hurts. I'm getting so old. Yeah. Anyway, existential dread aside, let's have some fun, guys, okay? Who will the LSU head coach be? I don't know. Again,
Kiffin Orgeron 2026.
I mean, I love it. Yeah, that is the idea that if Kiffin and Coach O's gone on national shows and talked about it, that if Kiffin gets the job, that he's open to be an assistant under Kiffin.
I saw that. I love that. What's Plan B?
Which he has been before.
I've heard Drinkowitz.
Like Eli Drinkwitz. Kind of unexciting.
Yeah.
But have y'all heard? So there's a couple juicy things percolating. We had Ross Dellinger on earlier this week. I asked him for one story that he's kind of chewing on, or what's the most exciting rumor, and he just basically said, watch Texas. See if something opens up there. So that's something to keep an eye on. Also,
I've been getting texts like that since like last season, though.
Watch Texas?
Just
or like
about,
Sark wants to
about
get to
Sark
the NFL.
and so just maybe some not great stuff that, could have affected him. I don't know. I just get texts and I read them and I like it.
Juicy. But then the other one that starts to be gaining a lot of steam is the idea that Kalen DeBoer has become Penn State target number one. Mm-hmm. And I guess on the surface, it's like, well, why would Kalen DeBoer leave? But then it's like, I mean, the Alabama vibes seem really hard to manage.
Yeah.
And I know that Penn State just fired a guy because he wasn't reaching expectation level, but it was also a bit of familiarity breeding contempt.
I feel like
they gave James Franklin 10 years.
Yeah, for sure. That's what I'm saying. So, like, even if you're like, well, what do we have to prove that Kalen DeBoer is going to have a higher ceiling than Franklin? I mean, I guess you don't. He didn't make a national championship with Washington. But like, it would feel, if you're DeBoer, like the avenue to making the fan base happy would probably feel easier at Penn State than it does at Alabama.
I would agree.
I would absolutely agree.
So be on the lookout for that. If we live in a world, and I don't deserve this at all, so I don't think we do, but if we lived in my reality, and Lane Kiffin goes to LSU and then Alabama gets left in the lurch for Kalen DeBoer leaving for Penn State.
I'm getting hot and bothered over here. You better stop talking dirty to me.
The warming of my loins. Speaking of getting hot and bothered, there's nothing that gets me more hot and bothered than a fresh, hot, sizzling skillet. And every single Friday here at Wake Up Barstool, we put together our Skillet special parlay. 3 of 4 legs hit last week.
Woohoo!
You know who did it?
Bama.
Alabama. Freaking bums. And here we go. We are running the gamut here. A few different sports involved. Megan, start us off.
All right. I think I gave, Houston money line. I have been burned by both teams this year, but I do like Houston. Houston has more wins. They are defensively superior and are in much better form, going 4-1 their last 5. Well, TCU has dropped 2 straight. Also, Houston is a respectable 7-3 ATS. Give me the Cougars on the money line.
All right. Chief. Is this right? Is it plus? It's minus one.
It's minus 1.5.
Yeah,
that gets you up to plus 320. So the Blackhawks on the road, second half of back-to-back. They got screwed last night. I think this is like a Connor Bedard. Light him up, show him the jersey. Centennial. The Hawks are good, and I feel like the bookmakers don't quite respect them yet. So
no respect.
There's money to be made. I've been
Rodney
doing it all.
Dangerfield.
I said I was hot in the break. I'm really just betting the Blackhawks. That's how I've been hot.
Dana, what you got?
I am the biggest NBA guy you will ever meet. I sit down at night. The second I get home, I throw on NBA and I'm watching it until I fall asleep. My wife probably hates that I do that, but that's okay. Nuggets. Listen, Nikola Jokic is the greatest basketball player in the NBA right now.
Yep.
He should have won MVP last year.
Yeah.
He will win MVP this year. They are going to the Rockets, the NBA Cup tonight. Everyone says the regular season doesn't matter. Tonight it does. The NBA Cup, it does. You got the best player going into Houston. Nuggets money line.
Did you watch Derek Queen from the Pelicans?
I do. 30 points the other night. But they stink.
Yeah, but Derek
Queen had some highlights against Jokic.
So.
Yeah.
But Derek Queen doesn't stink, dude. Him and Jeremiah Fears, watch out. Not really. I've been
maybe someday.
I've been doing this dance to the Pels for a long time. Shout out though. I still got to do a video on it, but they sent me a badass 53 T-Bob jersey. That was nice. All right. So do y'all remember doing like SAT prep back in the day or ACT?
Yeah.
Where they tell you, look, when you're taking the test, if you're not sure of the answer, go with your first instinct.
Yep.
This is the play that jumped off the page to me. It probably feels a little risky. I don't love that Bears seem to be on the opposite side of it, but give me the Gators +4 at home against Tennessee. There are certain teams that you cannot quit, And for whatever reason, I still believe this Florida Gators team should have been so much better this season than they have been. They have NFL talent on the offensive and defensive lines. And yeah, okay, the Florida offense is bad. Well, what's the great antidote for a bad offense? A worse defense. And Tennessee's defense is hot garbage. The swamp in a big game that the fans care about at night is as tough to play as anywhere in the entire country. And you're going to give me 4? Give me the Gators plus the 4 at home against Tennessee.
Love it.
How about it?
Chomp, chomp.
What they do, right?
Yeah, that is what they do. I wanted to see how everybody would handle that awkward dismount because we still have like 2 minutes left and nobody knows
What's the weekend
exactly
plans?
where we're going. There we go, Dana. See?
Look at
That's
that.
how you
Yeah,
do it, guys.
there you go.
You know,
I'm a TV guy.
I wanted to throw everybody into the deep end and see who would answer the call. Good job. Okay, here we go. We got some wings to break down. I mean,
Whoa.
look, I don't know. I'd eat them. I don't know if I have a great take here. Like, I eat all wings. I love wings.
I will say, no matter how bad the wing looks, just the look of buffalo sauce, I can feel my cheeks starting to salivate. I could probably drink buffalo sauce.
I
They
wonder
need
who
a little
likes-
bit more sauce, though.
They do need more sauce. Who likes buffalo sauce more between you two right
Me.
here, Dana and Megan?
Me.
Dana is.
Oh, I love it too.
I would eat a shoe.
I'll give it to Dana.
You put some buffalo sauce on a shoe, I'm eating it.
We ate a football on Thursday here that I think we put buffalo sauce in, and not even that could make
Just got
it.
a buffalo chicken pizza 2 nights ago. Oh, I was the only person in the house to eat all of it.
Dana was eating buffalo chicken dip in the shower.
Oh, what a move.
I
What a
was.
move. Relaxing. It's
I didn't know
called
you were going to tell people that, but that's all right.
Wait, what are you talking
I'm
about?
kidding. I don't
We
care.
said it.
T-Bob, it's
I
called
don't
self-care. Maybe try it sometime.
Yeah, I agree. We all should. Look, guys, Chief, thank you so much for filling in for Mike today. Excellent as always. Your Notre Dame team, though, brother, kind of coming in the crosshairs here a little bit.
They don't deserve it. That game against Miami, the weather was too hot. That-
Too hot.
It was too hot.
Too hot.
It's too hot. So
That
that was
is
so long ago.
soft.
Well, are you playing it in the heat? Or you playing it?
Unreasonably
It was
soft.
too hot. That game shouldn't count. So now, in my head, they're really they're going to finish.
So
one.
whenever
Massive
the
thank you
SEC
to
plays
everybody
in the cold,
behind the scenes, everybody who watches, share the Friends with You show. I hope you had a great week, and we're back for Thanksgiving week. Wake Up Barstool. Later, guys. Mwah.
Love you.
Love you.